who are constantly over analyzing everything in my life because they do not have a life of they don't have a life themselves, so they have to live through me. Live through me, Kiwi Farms. Bunch of retards. Yeah, I said retards. I mean, I've found trans people to be sexy. I've watched trans videos before. They're hot, by the way. Guess my wife is in a shelter. My wife is in a battered woman's shelter because apparently I'm a Nazi. Everybody here is a Nazi, and I am the leader of the Nazi party. You guys can post about like hating me in here, and I will ban you in real time. You're gone. That is, this is live ban. Oh, okay, this guy gets banned. Yep, getting rid of this guy. Wow! I haven't been drinking, so... Is this ban worthy? What do you guys think? I'm gonna leave this up to you. Okay, I'll get rid of this guy too, because he's just empty clothes. I'm violently transphobic now. I'm a transphobic Nazi. Live ban. Okay, this person goes absolutely having a meltdown. I'm going crazy here. Have you just thought about logging off as funny as this shit is? No, this is actually entertaining. Nobody is telling me who the transphobes are. Everybody hates me. You guys are all Nazis, and you all hate trans people, just like me. I took a break from hating transsexuals and loving Nazis to show you my fake penis. Clipping gold mine, yeah. Someone's gonna take all this stuff and put it together. That will be cool. I can't wait for that. I just wanted to stream some video games, but instead I became Hitler.
Happy New Year, my friends. Oh my god, that video took me like 6 hours to put together, but it was worth it. It was all worth it. I am going to upload that to YouTube at some point. After I'm done streaming. I'm going to edit it a little bit more, but after I'm done streaming. Anyways, I have very decidedly made a recap agenda, an itinerary, and I have painstakingly omitted as much politics as I possibly can. We're just going to be talking about the good stuff, about the meaty stuff. Well, not good as in like morally righteous good. I mean good as in doing well. I suppose that's a different word. Anyways. Oh, jeez. I don't even know where to start. Well, I guess I could start with a little bit of politics, because this is my first New Year's in a city, and I had a balcony to stand on in my apartment, and I was looking out, and there were so many fireworks, that the horizon, the entire distance that I could see, became clouded with sulfur smoke or whatever. And to the point where the distant fireworks just became like a haze in the smog. And it was very pretty. It was probably the best fireworks display I've ever seen, because it was like a 180 panorama. Everywhere I looked, there was another massive fireworks display that I could see. And it made me kind of nervous, because everyone, at least in my sphere, everyone's a bit of a political Debbie Downer. Everyone's talking Civil War. Oh, jeez. I was thinking, is this going to be one of the last times that I see a horizon in sulfur with explosions in the air and fire, and have it be a display for New Year's? So I didn't say that, though. I didn't want to burden people around me with my negative Nancy thoughts, so I bottled them up, and I said, I'm going to save this for my stream, for my therapy stream the following day, instead of letting it out here. So that's why I want to start with that somber thought as we enter into a long list of shit. Literally a big page. I divided it in half and split down the middle and filled with shit. Let's go with Carl first, because I wrote down some other stuff that's less funny than Carl. Or you know what? No, let's continue with something awful because I did that video, right? This is what kicked off low taxes, extremely bad, very no good, awful, terrible New Year's. He wrote a article in 2003 about someone called Interstate Emmy of Brie, who looks like that. And he wrote some very not flattering things about this person. Let's see. Oh, okay. PPS update. Although she, in quotes, has taken her site down as some horrible act of revenge against something awful readers. Oh no, a webmaster of a shitty website decided to take it off the internet. Whatever will we do? Here's the I'm into the page, by the way. Here you go. This is what they look like. They're doing some kind of like Naruto thing. It's very intimidating. I personally feel threatened through space and time as I look at this picture. It turns out she was originally a he, and his name was Kevin. Well, we know bad things about Kevins. Yes, that's correct. It was a remarkably ugly man before it turned into a remarkably ugly woman. Look at the live journal for the further horrible details. Or better yet, don't. Don't look at its live journal, and instead save your gag reflexes, the unnecessary exercise. However, I must thank Kevin for shutting down his, her/its site. If more crappy websites had the same outlook as you, the internet wouldn't be as vapid, disgusting, vile, wasteland it is these days. Bravo, Kevin. By Richard Lotax Kayenka from June 26, 2003. A very retrospectively based article, but he quickly capitulated because he went on that live stream, and that's like his gaming garbage stream. All he does is he plays bad video games from the Steam Greenlight system. And he tried to make money doing that before just asking people and something awful to give him Patreon money. And in the middle of that stream, usually he's not very responsive to drama stuff, but because this ongoing war, this feud between different boards on something awful has been happening, he had that Mondo meltdown. It's 2.5 hours, and I listened to all of it, and I clipped, I think he said maybe 20, 30 times that he's a Nazi and he hates transgenders. Like, just over and over again, kept saying it. And I couldn't include it because, that song's only like 2 minutes. And I was like, fuck it. I can't include every instance of this. I may upload 2 videos. One of the one that I showed you, and then just a mega cut of every time he says, I'm a Nazi and I hate trans people. Because he says it over and over and over again. And it's pretty funny, but it's probably not funny for the reasons he would have hoped. And it probably wouldn't be funny to the audience he would have hoped. I like this post by Fuck My Ass. Fuck My Ass says, I would love to suck off a poster from Kiwi Farms. Hell, maybe even fuck them. Very strong dedication to the brand, and I appreciate him. He can come over to the forum anytime he wants. I've been trying to court them. To court the something awful posters, because there's still some good ones who haven't exactly drowned yet, and somehow have avoided notice and being banned. This person says, Captain Billy Pissboy, probably one of the good ones. I've never felt more uncomfortable on this site as a trans person than before this witch hunt started, and it's definitely not FIAD's fault. And FIAD is the board that's the bad people, who are the transphobes. I had to leave a Discord that had been a safe place for me because they'd worked out themselves into a deranged frenzy trying to find imaginary Kiwi Farm spies. Now I'm scared to post my opinion anywhere else on the forums because the hive mind would probably label me a transphobe or a fake trans or something. Like, I shared some pretty personal information with people in that Discord because I thought I could trust them. I'm more scared of getting doxxed by members of this mob than I've ever been of FIAD or Kiwi Farms. And after the backlash to him going on that banning spree, he says in complete and total resignation to disgusting weirdos on his own website that he makes money from, okay, I have turned over the reins and decisions to the people in the mods and admins thread. And he hasn't posted since, as far as I know. And I've said this a lot, but can you even imagine owning a website that you can't be asked to moderate? He makes, I should, for some reason I didn't think of bringing this up. Let me go ahead and show you how much money he makes. See, this is when he started begging. I've shown this before. He got up to 15,000, and he's lost since about 600 donors. And as you can see, the big dip right here from the fallout of this drama, he's finally down under 10,000 and 1,700 patrons from. That doesn't sound right. Oh no, I guess he's only lost about. Oh, he's lost 500 patrons or 300 patrons. So he's lost like a ton of money just because he's pissed off the trannies and he doesn't know what to do. So he's just resigning and giving people the reins. But like, okay, if you have $10,000 a month coming in, how can you not hire someone who would give a shit? I don't get it. I don't understand. And how do you get $10,000 coming in and still not give a shit about what's happening? It's completely like this is his big break. He's finally making money from his site that he says has not been making money for years, and he's just complaining and going on weird tirades on live stream and stuff. I just don't get it. I'm just too old-fashioned, I guess. Okay. Let's do... What do I got? I guess... Okay, it's been a while since I did my last stream. And I didn't do anything for the week of my birthday or for Christmas. So something big happened, and I feel like I should mention that last year... around this time, the zoo sadism stuff happened. And one of the guys that everyone was really mad at was a guy called Snake Thing. His Snake Thing was in all the chats. I think Snake Thing actually gave up a lot of information about the zoo sadism stuff to other people. Like, he got blackmailed or extorted into giving that up. And he was in all the chat logs. And he was extremely supportive of people doing the worst things you could ever imagine to animals. And they briefly arrested him as it was happening, as it was still hot, but they let him go to the dismay of everyone. The stated reason was that they wanted to collect more information to bring forth all charges, because I think the way that it works with double jeopardy is that if they could have brought a charge at a certain time, and they didn't, they can't later bring that charge against you. So if they want to arrest you on something that happened at the same time as other crimes, and they don't have enough information to do all those crimes at the same time, they have to let you go, and then find that information, and then charge you all at once. And surprisingly, that actually happened. He did get arrested for a unbelievable number of crimes. He's got 7 counts of encouraging child sexual abuse in the first degree, 19 counts of encouraging child sexual abuse in the second degree, and 5 counts of encouraging sexual assault of an animal, which is a misdemeanor. So if those were to be served non-consecutively, so one right after the other, you're looking at, let's see, 174 thereabout years. Probably won't get that non-consecutively. They'll probably serve quite a few of them at the same time, maybe all of them, so it would be 10 years, but that remains to be seen. He's not convicted yet, he's just being held. But that's pretty good news. It's sad news. You can't really be happy about it, but it was definitely... God, Zed posted this on Christmas Day, the motherfucker. Crazy man. But I guess it's reassuring. Trying to be positive. DS positive. Okay. There's nothing to be positive about with the UK, though, so I have to break away. Remember this? Remember when this happened?
My name is Carl Benjamin. I'm a member of the United Kingdom Independence Party, and I'm campaigning to be an MEP for the southwest of England. I'm a centrist liberal, and I voted and campaigned for Brexit, so as you might imagine, I do not actually want to become an MEP. I want to see Britain out of the European Union. However, it's...
So he ran as an MEP, as UKIP, and this was after Nigel Farage was taking an exit from politics. He entered into UKIP as Nigel was leaving, and he systematically destroyed the UKIP party. I think it is one of the biggest catastrophes for any major political party in any large country like the UK, because the results of the election are catastrophic. UKIP in the prior election had 27% of the vote for the European elections. They got 3% of the vote come this election that Carl was running in, for a loss of 24 out of 27 points, giving no seat to UKIP and costing Gerard, the leader of the UKIP party, his seat. It actually, more embarrassingly, Carl was so bad at being a politician, it got Nigel Farage to re-enter politics by making his own party called the Brexit Party, which was the most successful party of the election, going from 0 points, as it didn't run in the prior election because it didn't exist, to 31% of the points, which was more than what UKIP got last election, and winning 29 seats. And Carl, being a smug, pretentious asshole, said that this was his goal all along. To save face, he said that what he really wanted to do was force Nigel Farage to come back into politics because Britain needed him the most. And by having Nigel Farage come back, he saved the day. It was all part of the 20-year plan all along. We can't even think on a level like that. This guy has an IQ of like 179. He's up there on the upper echelons, and you're just down there. You just see it at face value, right? So when you see him losing 24% of the vote and all the UKIP seats, and causing Gerard Batten to resign in shame on the 31st of December of the 2019, and it being entirely because he let Sargon of Akkad take the reins of his party and humiliate everyone who was working for UKIP, you might think that was him failing, but you're wrong, because it got Farage back into the European Parliament, which was his goal. The other thing that Sargon destroyed was his own Patreon. We're looking at Graphtreon a lot today, because he had, what is this, like $12,000 a month? And then he got banned, because when he was up on the national stage trying to defend the fact that he said he wouldn't even rape a politician, sites like Patreon and YouTube noticed and penalized his channels by taking them down or demonetizing them. And it's caused Sargon to have to make like 8 different channels. Like right now, all his videos are going on something called Akkad Daily, because his brand was so toxic that YouTube had to basically hide it from the public because he's such a shit show. Actually, I was trying to find this video of him announcing his campaign that I played before. I had a lot of trouble finding it, because even searching something like Sargon of Akkad campaign announcement MEP, he's like the 7th result or something. He's way down there, and only on YouTube. Like on Google Video, he doesn't show up at all. So they've completely like put ball and chain on his channels and shit because of what he's did. Highlights of the campaign include him getting a milkshake dunked on him. Here's the milkshake. You can see that he's drenched in a sticky white substance, trying to play it cool, but he's got milkshake on him. Also is this Renaissance painting of Sargon of Akkad getting 2 small fish thrown in his face. You can see he has witnessed the fish midair and has flinched, put up a hand to try and deflect the fish, but it's too late. The fish have touched his hand, and there's nothing he can do to stop it or avert its course. And that was the political career of Carl Benjamin. He humiliated himself and destroyed the livelihoods of several people, only to lose to the one person he was trying to replace, basically, before saying that that was his goal all along. If only we could all be like Sargon of Akkad. I have a big long thing for IBS. Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. So, raise your hand if you recognize Stream.me. I think I deleted the app for Stream.me off my phone recently because I couldn't bring myself to do it for a while because it was kind of sad. It was a weird, interesting time for a lot of people. Because if you don't remember, if you're new here, there was a time where Ethan Ralph of the Ralph Retort got banned off of YouTube, and that was shortly after his charity stream in 2018. Oh, all the F's in chat. Oh, rest in peace. There was a weird time where Ethan Ralph got kicked off of YouTube because he did a charity stream for a children's hospital where the first half was dedicated to Holocaust denial and the second half was dedicated to, I think, me and Dick Masterson and Jim talking to a mentally handicapped woman about her blue vagina. I preferred the second half, but maybe I'm biased because I was in it. But what happened is that what was it? What was the article that ran? Where did it come from? It was from that guy Jared Holt. Was it like the ADL? Whatever. One of those hate watch groups ran by Jared Holt did a hit piece on Ralph and the and the Holocaust denial charity stream, and it got him banned from YouTube. And was it the Wall Street Journal? Oh my god. No wonder why YouTube banned him. That's scary. You don't want to see Wall Street Journal articles about that. Huh. Okay, I'm wrong. So the alternative he got welcomed to was Stream.me, which was a small platform primarily dominated by a couple weirdos who were gaming a system where Stream.me was provided by some bigger company. I don't think we ever found out how they were getting financed, but they had a high score table where they were offering something like $500 a week to the top streamers, decided by a strange algorithm that as people joined the system, they started to watch and game. Ralph basically dominated that, so the hit from not having super chats and stuff didn't really faze him that much. But as people like me and SPCC, rest in peace, joined up and started competing for monitor/bike money, it became a thing because you had people like Kitty Style. This guy, who you may remember, he was one of the original denizens of Stream.me, and he would stream to 10 people, 18 hours a day, to get enough high score table money to buy weed so that he could smoke in his trailer and draw very avant-garde art like this. Oh, come on and load. There we go. Ah, perfect. This is worth $500 a week. Money well spent. Now, when he started losing his money to people like Danish Cop, who would just restream his streams for 18 hours a day, he didn't take it very well. Is there sound? Oh, they're not going to play sound? Oh, come on. I can open it in MPCC. I can hear something.
No, I actually have a really good mic on my other computer. This is just my shit computer that I'm using to stream.
Whatever. I know this is funny.
Dude, I want to beat him up and slash him. I want to fucking slice his throat. And I'm probably going to go to jail for that, but I don't give a fuck about shits like that. Dude, if I saw him in real life, I would beat the crap out of him.
So this was a guy who said he wanted to throw acid in the face of a female politician in Denmark, who went to jail for saying that he wanted to throw acid in the face of a female politician. He came out and started smoking weed in his camper van with Stream.me money. And when Danish police and Ethan Ralph and myself and SPCC and all these other people were competing for the high score table and knocking him down to places where he would only get like $20 a week, he started getting super violent, and he basically just lost his mind and got bullied off the platform. And I think that's it. I know there's some other oh, wait, hold up. Aha, the tags are broken. I bet you this is a good one. Better work.
I don't deserve this.
Oh yes, this is a good one.
Don't you understand? I have trauma. I'm traumatized.
Rasmussen.
Do you understand? I'm traumatized from being in prison. I've been isolated. I've been locked up. Do you fucking understand? Do you fucking understand?
I'm not in your shit country.
Do you fucking understand? You don't fucking understand!
God damn it, man, keep it together.
I can't!
Attention, Danish secret police kitty style is collaborating evil alt-right Nazis. Come round this guy up. Ha 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 ha. Just came to call you a faggot. Iceberg.
Oh yeah.
You. Ross 2.0.
You're fucking faggots.
Smiley face.
You're all
Smiley
faggots.
face.
Why can't you be nice?
Thanks, Ross.
Why can't you be nice?
Holy fuck.
Why can't you be nice? Why you gotta be shit? Huh? Why you gotta be literal shit? Literal shit. This is my job. I have to make this money because otherwise, well, what the fuck can I do? I have a family to feed. I have mouths to feed. I have debt to pay. I have stuff to take care of. I'm literally in a trailer, and you want to bully me? Like the government, like I can't afford shit because the government fucked me over. They framed me because of one Facebook comment.
You are the only fag.
One Facebook comment. You're the fags. You're the fags. You're bullying somebody that literally can't help themselves. I have PTSD, which makes me traumatized. I have ADHD, which makes me unable to control my feelings. Right, and now you're gonna call me a faggot or some shit because it's funny. Hey, you have a mental handicap. Let's bully him more. Right? Fucking.
You ever think the reason the government is so fuck up is because of people like you? Please
I paid more tax than you probably will in your entire life, you piece of shit, President Capisha.
Oh, I was reminded, he did not actually get bullied off of Stream.me. The whole conflict with him getting bullied was what triggered this video. The reason why he got banned from Stream.me is that it came out he had molested his sister at some point, and the admins had decided by that time that it was time for him to leave. So he did. And that was the end of Kitty Style. I think he still streams on these random platforms, but he doesn't make any money because nobody watches them. But many people did watch this far superior stream.
Stay back! Stay back! Get the fuck back! Get the fuck back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Stay back! Stay back!
Oh, it just loops. So this is kind of hard to explain, but at the time, I think because of Ice Poseidon, Ethan Ralph and the crew decided that they were going to be in real life streamers because, you know, they were getting along. They had that Knoxville thing where they decided to challenge a cripple. Or no, a cripple challenged Andy Worski to a fight, and they met up. And, well, no, they didn't meet up. Andy Worski and everybody on our side, I say our side, but Ethan Ralph, Gator, Dick Masterson, I think even Nick Rakita showed up at this arena in Knoxville to show their support for Andy Worski and to have a nice resolution to his internet feud. And Tankasal did not show up, but it went so well and everyone was so pleased by the result. They wanted to have a nice little in real life streaming event where they would go to the proud state of Florida, where I hail from, I suppose. I'm technically from Maryland, but I guess I'm more of a Florida person at this time anyways. And it went about as well as you would expect. They brought, who was the third guy? It was Quarter Pounder. It was Quarter Pounder, Andy Worski, and Ethan Ralph. They go to Florida, and this is just me recalling it the best of my ability. And they book a hotel. I can't remember what their original objective was. I think they were going to try doing like a cross country trip or something from Miami to California. And it fell apart at the first hurdle because Andy Worski threw a bag of ice on a sleeping Ethan Ralph. And you apparently do not wake a resting Ethan Ralph from his resting position. Because, I mean, it didn't help that at the time Ethan Ralph was getting really bad on alcohol, right? So it was kind of a big fuss when the ice thing happened. And they ended up splitting ways. So Andy Worski goes off on his own little Florida man adventure, and they end up pulling a gun on 2 Canadians because they felt mildly physically threatened. And the guy holding the gun got arrested, and Andy Worski disappeared for forever. And then Ethan Ralph went back home. And that was that was the end of the adventures in Florida. They should have picked an easier state to start with. Maybe try California to Florida and work your way up. And at some point Ethan Ralph ate a hamburger from the trash can, and that is one of people's favorite favorite moments. God, there's so much that's happened with that too that I could mention. I could mention the intervention stream where I tried my very best to be a good person and say you should stop drinking, only to get yelled at until Dame Pesos played the Ethan Ralph It's Me Gator clip till I was literally just laughing so hard I was hurting and crying. And somehow that worked. So I guess Dame Pesos knows psychotherapy better than I do. Oh, there was a stream before that where I think I have the audio. Oh, I do have the audio. Let me put this on full blast.
It's not true. It's not true.
Where Ralph was so drunk he was just on the bed and he was streaming all night. And I think his mom came by and said that you have to help me drive somewhere. You have to go drive me to a doctor's appointment or something. And he says, oh, she claims that he's been drinking, and he says,
it's not true.
God, I'm suddenly very lucid about how fucking strange what I'm talking about is. And that this is a real thing that actually happened. And all of this, I have video proof that proves these people went to Florida and they pulled guns on Canadians and then went home and ate burgers from trash cans and got super drunk. And a squeaky wetback from Chile played a soundboard until I was literally laughing, crying. That actually happened this year. It wasn't even like a lifetime ago. It was this year that this happened. Oh my God. This has been a long year. I think that's it. Has anything else happened with Ralph? Because I've been kind of, my time zones are so, I've been a good boy, sleeping on time, so I've been missing the late night shenanigans. I think that's about it. I think Andy Worski tried to come back, but nobody cared because it was over by then. No. It wasn't last year. The fight was last year, but most of this happened this year. It was early this year. Oh yeah, the Gunt. Was that? No, that was last year. I wonder if I type in Gunt into Google, is that like the first result? No. It's a significant enough word where there's other people. Here, this is it. In case you're curious, I might as well throw it up. Because it's a legendary picture for just how... Oh, I forgot Coach was there. I completely forgot about Coach. I didn't say anything about him. I can't remember anything that happened with him. I know that he was there, and then he got into a fight with the Stream.me people. This is all that's left of Stream.me now. Some old apps that don't work anymore, and a domain that doesn't work. Rest in peace. Oh, and Nick was there. Is Nick in this picture? No, Nick came later. I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this event, which I have mixed feelings for, because let me set a baseline for talking about the Vic Mignogna stuff. I still believe that Nick is entirely truthful. I believe that when he says that there was a better than 50% chance of winning this, that he was technically correct. And I'm going to even go out and say that Beard, Harris, and attorneys were capable of pulling this off. But in the perfect storm, and number 4, I'm going to say that there is still a chance that they can win. So, because I don't know law, and I think Nick is still mostly confident in the way that things are happening, only because Beard Harris is like like this guy on the screen is a real attorney who has handled very serious litigation for very big clients worth a lot of money, and he doesn't like to lose, especially now that he's so personally invested in it. So I'm gonna completely benefit of a doubt. I still like Nick, and he's offered to talk to me. He says he wanted to talk on another stream soon, which I am in favor of. It's just that I have to wake up at like 6 a.m. to do that. So, some people are not supporting my statements on Beard, but Nick this year, after Vic Mignogna, a voice actor for Funimation, the voice of Goku, I want to say, was removed from Funimation following claims of sexual harassment and unwanted sexual advances. So Nick said to Vic Mignogna, "You can win this. I believe that you have been, in a civil sense, in a legal sense, you have been damaged. You are owed money under the law. And if you take this to court, you will win. And I will set you up a GoFundMe." Broly. I'm sorry. I don't know anime, okay, anime people. I'm sorry. So Nick sets him up a GoFundMe, and it smashes a $200,000 goal in like a couple of weeks. It's a really big deal. Lots and lots of people talking and arguing about it on Twitter and shit. And when it comes time to take the money and to put it towards an attorney, he chooses Ty Beard is his name. Beard Harris and Co. is like the law firm. The iffy thing about that is supposedly Ty Beard is a family friend, right? Who Nick had confidence in. I know the exact moment where I thought, oof, this may not, there is a chance, despite the very loud confidence of everyone involved in the case on this side of the case, and Vic winning. I know the exact moment where I thought they might not win. And that was when I saw Ty Harris wearing the shirt saying, "Damn it, Nick, we lost the case again," which is a reference to the opposition of this case, saying every time they file anything that they've lost the case, that this filing was so bad and missed the mark so heavily that they will lose the case. And he thought that was funny enough to put on a t-shirt to print out and to sell to people on a store for money that did not go towards the case, that went to his own bank account, saying, "Damn it, Nick, we lost the case again." I beheld this shirt, and I thought to myself, oh no, this is not a good idea. This is not, as they would say in the Weeb Wars community, a good look. And it was such a not good look that in the dismissal motions from the opposition, they literally just took a screenshot of him wearing that fucking shirt and put it under a title titled, "This case was always a game to the plaintiff." And indeed, I do not think that is a good look. So as we stand now, at the end or the beginning of 2020, they have indeed lost the case, quote unquote. Now, the next step is to file appeals. And that's going to be a lot more time and a lot more money and many months of back and forth litigation and a crapshoot with if this should proceed. The main point of contention is that it was thrown out under TCPA. And without getting too legal or talking about it too much, TCPA is a Texas law for cases like this, particularly defamation, to say, is there even a potential for a case? And to many people, there was obvious potential for a case. This wasn't vexatious litigation that you could easily dismiss. It was, it was a big deal, so it should proceed and get past TCPA. The fact it did not get past TCPA, and it was essentially deemed vexatious litigation by the judge, is a huge obstacle to overcome, and that's where they're at now. It's basically set back to square one. They still have to prove to the appellate court that, yes, we do in fact have the potential for a real case here, which is also not a good look. So, as much as I wish everyone involved, the best of luck, it's really demoralizing to the people who threw, at this stage, $267,000 to see justice for Vic Mignogna, right? And the board itself is kind of in a tizzy, because under the guidance of IMSPEX, who we've lost since the opening of this board, people didn't really listen to what I said, because I didn't understand this whole conflict when it first opened, or how a board for it would be appropriate on the site. And I warned people in this now hopefully infamous post. I said, remember, laugh and the world laughs with you, cry and you cry alone. And from what I've seen with the board, many people are just upset, and they're all grumpy Gusses and negative Nancys, and saying, oh, there's no justice in the world, and we need to bring up our arms against the governments because the court systems is rigged. And that's not the kind of thing that I like to see, because when you're saying shit like that, you look silly. And usually we try to get the silly people outside the forum to laugh at, and it should not be the other way around. So it's kind of soured my opinion of things to see that sort of posting, and I kind of hope everyone gets a little bit of levity in them eventually. Let me get some water. Based. Did I miss anything? Is my coverage of the Weeb Wars thing fair? I'm not trying to be too down on them, but at the same time, you know, I try to be realistic. And I think, let me say this, because it's a fair point to mention. I think Nick has always been honest about the odds of this being successful. I don't think at any time he's ever made it not obvious to people that, yes, things can go not our way. Yes, the TCPA is a very large obstacle, and almost, in his opinion, it's unconstitutional. But he's always said the odds of this going through are about 50-50, which is a coin toss, right? So, please close our Weeb Wars. Nick and Co. deserve a lot more ridicule. Call Vic a rapist. I know some people who would think that. It's weird, because I have lots of little birds on my shoulder, right? And some people are not pro Vic, but I don't know. It was less than 50-50, didn't it? Yeah, I always felt that Nick was being fair, but you know, it's a weird thing. Yaniv. I did a stream. Surprisingly, I did a stream about Jessica / Jonathan Yaniv / Trusted Nerd. And my stream, which has happened once or twice now, got struck down for being cyberbullying. Now, we are not cyberbullies here. We do not support cyberbullying. Everyone deserves love. Love is love. All people are the same. But I want to talk about Jessica Yaniv, and I put up a thumbnail that was more flattering than this one on YouTube. And I said, I'm going to be talking about them at the usual time. And I put up my thing on the Kiwi Farms, and I started off to work to take some notes. And unlike other times where I've gotten in trouble with YouTube and Google, this stream was yanked before it started because someone had filed a DMCA copyright complaint against my thumbnail for violating their copyright, which has never happened. I've never even heard of it happening. I've never heard of it ever happening where someone filed a DMCA complaint on a thumbnail for an upcoming stream. And this prompted me looking a little bit further and doing a full 2-hour-long stream on Yaniv and his interest in high-tech sex toys and all sorts of weird shit, right? This led to Yaniv fucking with my data center, trying to fuck with people involved with my site, basically doing a high-tech sort of takedown on the forum that I hadn't really dealt with before, and it ultimately led with me getting kicked out of my data center. They threw my shit into a box and shipped it halfway across the country to a new data center on short notice. So it was sort of shocking. But and I ended up writing things like this to talk about the issues that Yaniv poses to society, namely that they're a sexual predator interested in coming of age girls and their tampons. Then, as luck would have it, they took 16 different estheticians to a human rights court in British Columbia, Canada, for violating their fundamental human rights by not waxing their balls. For various reasons, it's not appropriate to assume that estheticians should be able to do that kind of waxing on male genitals. And I'll leave it at that. But this became international news. It was not just a British Columbia story. It was not just a Canadian story. It wasn't just like a North American story. Soon, almost everyone knew about the sick freak and their ball waxing fetish and how much power they had in removing people from the internet. Because it wasn't just me. It wasn't just YouTube, and it wasn't just people being mean in the way that I'm mean, right? It was everyone, including like well-established activists and feminists and stuff. It was anyone. He had such a powerful vice grip on information and technology, and was seen standing next to people like the co-founder of Twitter and stuff. It was unbelievable how much power they had to remove shit from the internet. So the Kiwi Farms kind of became a bit of a refuge for people who wanted to talk about Yaniv but couldn't. And it resulted in some amazing chimp outs. This is one of my favorites, and I'll play it.
Get out. This is a secure area. Get out. Get out.
This is a public space.
No, it's not. Get out.
Yeah, it is.
Get out, or I will pepper spray you.
Get out. No, don't touch me, man. Don't touch me.
Go out now.
Hey,
get out.
Don't touch
you
my
go out. Out you go.
Get out. She just pulled the fire down.
I did. I am on the phone. Get in here.
Wow.
Get in here. Get in. In. Yeah.
So progressive.
Yeah, so aggressive, hey?
Progressive. Nicely done.
You know, for someone in a wheelchair, they can stand when they need to. If you're wondering why the mother has such a weird accent, it's because she's a first-generation Israeli immigrant to Canada. Ain't that nice? I don't feel a need to go through the chat logs and how creepy they are. I just wanted to play that clip. And I wanted to show you this. When Yaniv joined the forum to tell WG Kitty, who has since deleted their account because of something I'll mention in a bit. But you are going to fucking die, says Jonathan Yaniv. I know who you are, and I'm coming there. I'm going to come there, slit your throat, and throw your body under the Golden Ears Bridge. Bob Adams knows who you are too, so you better stop. You are going to die, motherfucker, gonna die. You better not step outside the building, or else. And then meow, 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 meow. Lots of meows, actually. And from what I understand, the reason why they were posting meow is because they figured out where WG Kitty was posting from in their building. And the mother, the Israeli woman who's his mother, literally went through the halls of their apartment complex meowing to try and intimidate WG Kitty to not post on the forum anymore. It was a spectacular, amazing thing. They posted porn of which I edited out of like coming inside a vagina, and they said like my pussy is bleeding. Tell us your first period story. It's just complete and total fucking psychobabble. It was fantastic. And then they sent me a PM the next day saying that they were super hungover. And then they got into a fight with Blair White and showed a taser on stream, which is an illegal weapon in Canada, and they got arrested for it. So, and they lost their case, by the way. All the human rights tribunal shit was thrown out, and they were ordered to pay a fine, and their fine for threatening 12 different or 16 different women in the human rights tribunal over frivolous bullshit was like $2,000. So I guess justice was served that day. Yeah, emotes are banned on DLive. You guys spam it too much. I'll enable it for my outro as I usually do. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, you know what? I left a little note on my thing. Yaniv is weird because I mentioned on this, I show my DMCA, but during the 2 weeks that this was down, I'm pretty sure was the time that I switched over to stream.me. Maybe not. Maybe it was a little bit after. I thought they were the reason why I switched over, though. Whatever. Oh, no, it was, because this happened at the end of December, and that was right before 2019 started, and I flipped over to take advantage of the fact that I wasn't banned there, because this, restricted me from streaming until March, which is nuts. The system's a little bit better than that now. Oh, and I want to point out the claimant used their birth name as opposed to their drag name, I guess. I thought that was funny at the time. And let me just do a recap of the forum as a whole, because the forum had some issues this year. Coke. For some reason, the bottle for Coke Zero changes in every country. Every country has a different Coke label. Okay, can you believe crack sip? Poison. Yeah, it is poison. This is my vice. Can you believe that Christchurch was this year? Which I have to talk about, I suppose. I don't want to show anything else, I'll get banned. But that was in March. That was like 8 months ago, I guess. It feels like it's been forever. And I don't know, I guess it has been. A lot's changed since then. I remember how long it took to keep this up. I was up for 2 full days with a little bit of sleep trying to keep the site up. At some point we got 33,000 visitors at one time, because for a brief period of a couple hours, the forum was the only source of the video that I could find up at that. It was probably in a bunch of different places, but you could Google this guy's name and find him and find the video. And we got a ton of shit from the government from New Zealand. We got a ton of shit from... What's funny is that all the complaints we got from the government all the contact I got from government in the U.S. was from local police departments, because they wanted the video for training purposes. From what I was told from local law enforcement is that when the Department of Defense or whatever takes a video like this and to analyze it and put it out for training purposes, it takes a couple weeks, and a lot of them wanted it for the immediate time in case of copycats and stuff. So a couple .gov and .us emails from counties and stuff contacted me, and meanwhile the Kiwis, the proper Kiwis, were chimping out over it. It was kind of scary, because it's weird. It's weird having people from the government talk about you. It's weird hearing your website name mentioned in press conferences the day of and the day after. It's just strange. But it was significant enough that we finally got our hard-earned Wikipedia entry. It says right here, owner Joshua Noel Moon. Oh, geez. What an honor. I finally have my Wikipedia entry. I've been working hard on that. For some reason, my Immortal fan fiction authorship was listed in this. I guess that was a big case, the Rose Christo stuff. That was a big deal. And I'm still sick. I'm sorry. I was hoping to be better by now, but I'm not. I'm still a sick boy. The federal grand jury subpoena. I didn't know what to do about this, and I tried contacting a ton of people to try and figure out what to do about this, and if I could not surrender information, and that just didn't happen. I contacted everything I could think of, and nobody got back to me in time for it, so I ended up basically giving them what they asked for. I had reduced records, but for the time, I had an archive of the site for the day they were asking. So I had the IP that they were asking for. I really didn't want to give it to them. I was hoping I could contest it, because I was thinking that the archive wasn't a record kept in the course of, usual business. It was a strange backup just in case. But I didn't want to fuck around with the court system. I didn't want to withhold information that was subpoenaed. So I ended up having to give it to him. Yeah, I'm a snitch. It sucks. It really sucked. It was very stressful. It was extremely stressful. I want to say that this was more stressful than the Christchurch stuff, because the Christchurch stuff was, it's a foreign government. They didn't really have that much power, and I didn't have anything to worry about besides keeping the site up. With this, it was my government, and it seemed unconstitutional. The post they were asking information about was this, because it was about the shooting in Germany. And the guy reposted the manifesto and stuff, and they wanted his IP address associated with it. And it's like, there's nothing illegal about reposting a PDF file or a picture, So the whole thing seemed completely unfair to me. I contacted a couple attorneys. I contacted the EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, asking for help. And they sent an email out to their list of lawyers asking if anyone would look into it. None of them got back to me, which is disheartening. And I just gave them what they wanted to fuck off. But I told him I would post it. If he didn't, I emailed the guy. Here's my audacity. I emailed him and I said, because he very explicitly asked that I don't publish the subpoena publicly without contacting him first, which is just a request. It's not a demand. But I obliged it because I didn't have representation. I wasn't going to get it. And I just said, I asked that you retract it because it's unconstitutional to try and press charges on someone for posting a manifesto like that. And if you do retract it, I won't post it. And he said, well, I'm going to have to ask that you oblige the subpoena. You can post it if you want to. So that's what I did. I tried my best, but that's all I got. And not to end on a sour note, because I didn't even bring up the post about the hack, how the site got hacked and how we lost a huge number of active posters. A lot of them have come back, but even a significant number of staff members left. Now I'm the only admin. So it's mostly over December, the people handling the reports was mostly me, Ride, Trombonista, and HK47 was helping in the articles and happenings board, which is kind of weird because we used to have a lot more staff members, but it is what it is. This DMCA, however, is a lot funnier because I got my way, and it's always funnier when I get my way. Lego Company says I have to delete these images, and these are the images. This Star Wars thing, this Star Wars thing, the Star Wars thing. It's all just shit. It looks like shit. It looks like cheap junk. And I said, this isn't even a DMCA, because it's not. This isn't like a proper DMCA. It looks threatening, but it's just garbage. And I said, this isn't a DMCA takedown notice, and is nothing more than a polite request disguised as something more serious. It's your own responsibility to manage your trade secrets, not mine. Don't disrespect me with this intellectually dishonest shit. Well, sure enough, brand protection gets back to me with a proper DMCA takedown request, and I end up looking up what posts these images are attached to, and it's in the big Star Wars thread. For some reason, I didn't link to it. Here, by general friendliness, and the guy is basically explaining how the Lego sets don't represent the canon. They don't represent the movies. They look bad, look kind of cheap and shitty. And it's a very solid review for what it is. So I said, the post using these images is one of the best examples of fair use I could hope for. The person goes in detail to describe and criticize your products and the handling of third-party intellectual property in a way that is both fair and would absolutely require the images to make his point. I believe in good faith the articles in contention are used fairly. Send servicing to the address below. And surprise, surprise, the fucking asshole, the brand protection from Lego.com, title legal consultant, sends a Cloudflare DMCA provider hoping it would go to my host as opposed to just sending me their paperwork. And my response to this, because it went to 1776 hosting, my response to this from the 1776 hosting email addresses, stop fucking emailing me, I already responded. And that was the end of the Lego saga. They no longer send me any more emails. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This was a nice little David and Goliath thing because I was in the right. This post by whatever General Friendliness. It's a really good example of fair use and why people need to include copyrighted images, even of top secret Lego products that haven't even been released yet. Gets protected. And one more positive, optimistic, domestic thing about the forum is Dick has been working very hard to keep New Project 2 up and the madattheinternet.com site up for these streams, and it's been a huge help, especially with Stream.me being dead and the high score tables being gone and YouTube super chat shit not being reliable. Sorry to the super chats I missed, by the way, because I feel bad about that. I should probably read one eventually. But yeah, that's that. Hopefully 2020 will be a little bit better because I know that there's some issues I want to resolve. There's some custom add-ons that I want to write now that I make a little bit of money. I can probably afford the time to write some custom extensions, but it's uncertain times. I have to work on stabilizing things before I proceed into making new stuff. And one more thing, closing out the hour, is I want to reflect on the niggas we lost along the way. You might recognize this guy. I'm pretty sure this dude's fucking dead. His name was Ruben Barron, I think. He was Wolf. He disappeared after the Cuban officials got contacted about the zoo sadism stuff. Pretty sure he's dead. Press F for the puppy. I'm pretty sure he's dead. I don't think they're going to keep him alive. The Soviets would just, if they got convicted of something like that, they'd just pop him with an AK and that'd be it. He's dead. Etika's dead. Press F. Can I just take a second to explain my shock that this video is still up? I don't, like, the comments are seething. You're disgusting. Remember this when you lose a loved one. Don't worry, my dude. Hell has a very special place reserved for you. Imagine making fun of a dead man. Actually, a lot of the comments have gotten positive. I think my evangelizing for this video has made it more, has gotten people to thumb up the good ones. Because when this just came out, the amount of salt posted on that page was fucking amazing. It was genuinely like a throwback to when people could get away with this. I don't know. Here's my personal theory, by the way. I think that this video has stayed up because Etika had such a weird cult of personality that they just said, look, don't get rid of anything that isn't just being racist about him. Because if maybe this video has some sort of special significance to his fans and deleting it might disrespect them or something. Because he did that whole thing about how when he dies, bury him in front of YouTube headquarters and play the song No Bitch Niggas. No, put that on his tombstone, No Bitch Niggas. So I think that's why it stayed up. It's like flagged, like don't delete this. It's probably like a relic, an in-joke we don't understand. This is Ramilia. They died like 3 days ago. They were the first woman in competitive League of Legends, guys. Very big step forward for women. We don't see too many women in competitive esports, but Ramilia, one of the best. Really one of the best. I think they were a jungle player or something. I don't know. But a great female League of Legends player. Speaking of females, Lola's dead just in time for my Halloween stream. Finally, after, I think they're born 2006, died 2019. They died at 13 or 14. But I think the other one, Claire, she died at like 18. She was like 18 or 19 when she died. So she was legal, which is just horrifying. But thankfully, they're now both with Jesus in heaven and no longer suffering in potato bodies on earth. One of the bigger scandals that wasn't like a mass murder was Bianca Devins, aka Cracky Chan, dying in, I want to say December. It was late this year. That got me into a lot of trouble. I got many emails from her family saying that I'm a horrible, disgusting person for hosting the body images. And I got emails from the local police saying that there was an active investigation and it would be really nice if I took it down. And I told them I can't do that, and they didn't reply anymore. But I don't know. I guess I'm the bad guy, not the family that let her get into drugs and prostitution and beheaded eventually. Simba Lion. This is Simba Lion. I don't think many people have seen a picture of Simba Lion. There aren't many of him. He didn't post many images on the internet, and the one that we do have, or all the ones that we have, are from like third parties. So this is him at a range, very fittingly, because he died in a shootout with police very recently, the last month or so. He died of injuries after a shootout with the police that left 2 other police officers injured. And now he's just dead, just in time for the New Year's. For my nibba Simba. And there's one more person. One more special hallowed name who left us in 2019 with many questions unanswered and many conspiracy theories that will probably never be solved until the CIA releases their information 30 years from now, like they do with JFK.
Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated, all tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. Had to have hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing, didn't have a time, but I always had a vision, always had hopes.
Truly taken before his time. Press F for my nibba Jeffrey Epstein, who tragically committed suicide by hanging himself with a paper bed sheet from the end of a bunk bed, I think. Something very credible and possible like that. Truly a tragedy. Rest in peace. I think that's it. I glossed over a lot of political stuff and a lot of not fun stuff. And I'll probably save that for the Chinese New Year, because I think that's more appropriate. But for now, be optimistic evermore as we head into 2020. The new decade, may 2010 burn in hell. It's been a slow, steady, abysmal decay into a technocratic dystopian hellscape that will never end. But maybe, just maybe, 2020 will be the roaring 20s, and things will be less shit than the 2010s, right? No fat girls. Oh, okay, here's the story with Amberlynn and Chantal. You ready? They're both fat. They both got fatter. Even though Chantal lost organs, she still gained weight, which is impressive. Usually when people lose body parts, they lose weight. Not today. Oh, John Bullitt, did he die? Oh, he did get committed. He didn't die. That doesn't count. I'm only counting deaths. Great Depression, too. The 2010s were child play. Okay, let's play a game. Press 1 if you didn't listen to all the options. Press 2 if you think 2020 is going to be better than 2010. And press 3 if you think we're heading headlong into civil war. Let's I want to see. We'll wait this one out. What am I going to get? Lots of ones so far. I see a 3. I see lots of 3s. I see a couple of optimistic 2s, more 3s, another 1s for some reason. Lots of 3s. The D-Live people are like depressed. They're about to jump off a building. 3s. I want to say it's like 60-30 on the 3s to 2s. Mostly, okay, never mind. Too many. It's all 3. We're all fucked. We're going to be raising our arms up. What flag are we going to fly on the battlefield of the Civil War, chat? I'm voting because I do like flags. I think Gad's gonna fly. We should fly. I like this one. I like the snake because he's very snaky. He's a tough boy. He's saying, "Don't tread on me." I like that. I don't like being tread on. So this flag, I think, is going to be our flag for the Civil War, which a lot of people seem to be thinking is happening. So. Good luck with that. The election's coming up. Try not to lose your family over it. Keep your head together. Don't kill yourself yet. We got work to do, my friends. And I'll see you when I see you. Thank you for joining me. And I'm sorry I missed the streams in December. I'll make it up. I'll do some extra weight here. I'll finish Life is Strange. I might change my schedule to be on the weekends, but we'll see. That's all coming up. Until next time, my friends. Where's my thing at? Oh no, where's my thing at? It's super urgent. How could this happen? I downloaded this all special and everything. Oh, there it is. Okay. The stream is saved. I have my outro song. Take it easy.
Viens, je t'emmène sur ma planète. Ici c'est pas comme à l'école. On verra, c'est super chouette. Entre adultes on fait la fête. On est rocksat quand tu décolles. To another dimension, a little bit high, a little bit low. It's just enough for me to mention. You gotta get on top, the king of the love. I sing it la 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 la. You got it. Ain't nothing to show, no la 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 la. You got it on it. Ain't nothing to show.